So now that I have fallen down this rabbit hole, I just jumped onto Twitter's. And I got an alt Twitter where I pretend to be a MAGA guy. And I saw a live. And I am not kidding you. This dude, all these dudes these farmer dudes in there, these farm owner dudes, they're saying, well, we thought the blacks would come back and do the jobs because they don't have jobs. Well, I'm sorry to break it to you, but black people have jobs, and you thought you were getting your slaves back is basically what you were saying. That's what you thought. It's still going right now, and I'm not going to post a link to it because I don't want to give these people a voice. But they think they're in a safe space on Twitter. They're not.
Right now, we're in a very dire situation. September's upon us, harvest is starting in the deep south, and we have 0 bushels of soybeans on the books to be sold to China for this current crop that's about to come out of the field. Historically, over the last 5 years, about a third of soybean sales to China would be booked. China amounts to 25% of our total U.S. soybean crop. So that would be 8 or 9% of the whole U.S. crop would normally be on the books with China right now, and we have 0. That is alarming. The farm economy as a whole is struggling. Inflation has caused our cost of production to rise drastically on every front. Commodity prices, in particular soybeans, are down about 50% from where they were 3 years ago. And our numbers are deeply in the red. And we send this letter to President Trump because we've been talking for months about needing to have sales in place, a deal in place, a phase 2 type agreement that has purchase commitments along with a level playing field on trade with no tariffs. And we haven't had anything happen, unfortunately. And our appeal to President Trump and his administration is make soybeans a priority in any trade negotiations that are taking place. Soybeans are the #1 agriculture export to China. And in the last trade war, it was 71% of the losses that we had as American farmers. And they're critical.
Yeah, so if we look at, and we're going to divide. So I'll stay with grain and oilseeds because that's what I do day to day. But I just have to say one thing about livestock. For livestock folks, we're in good world for them right now. So I'd love to be able to have as good a world that they're having in GNO, but we just don't. And so there's just so many things, and it's really a supply story this year. When you think about across the globe, we haven't had a year where every country's almost in only 8 cylinders where we're getting full production. And that's where we are right now. It's also too a bit of a dichotomy in the US is that we're building corn stocks, but the world is not. Or it's just the opposite in soybeans, where the world's building soy stocks and we're not. And so it's a very weird world, but the fact is we just have so much supply in the world that's just going to keep prices, really on the defensive.
What you're about to watch is immediate regret. You decided to vote for something and immediately you are preaching against that same thing. Now, white farmers are raged and are begging Trump to bring back blacks to their farms after their threats failed. And guess what? It's now taunting them. Black people want them. We told them exactly what was going to happen, but guess what? They did not listen. They wanted all immigrants out, they sent us away, and now they want us back to their farms. But guess what? We are saying in 2026 that ain't happening. This clip you are about to watch is going to change your perspective on everything that's been happening in the political scene, especially in respect to black people. If you're loving this content, if you love contents like this, please do well to subscribe to this channel, give this video a like so that it reaches as many more people as possible. I actually want this video to get very viral. So let's get into it.
You're not doing that. And they're asking for you to come out. I heard one guy said that you said you love the farmer and now he needs the fruit of their labor or something. So I'm curious, is this administration going to help out the farmers? Because they're needing some help. A lot of people are calling it socialism, that they don't like it. But it is what it is. You think the farmers are going to get the help they need? What do you think? You think President Donald Trump's going to come through for him? I hope so. You know, we got pulled up by our bootstraps, a lot of these people.
I'll never understand why Republicans continuously vote for people who do not represent them at all, but rather represent the elites. Listen to these farmers in Arkansas who all voted for Trump, by the way, pleading for his help because he is actively destroying their farms and their futures.
Now, I've never been as worried as I am now about whether or not my kids and grandkids will be able to carry on.
He said, I love you, Mr. Trump. I need to see the fruit of love.
5 of my customers have committed. That's how serious that this is.
These aren't isolated stories either. It's happening across the entire United States to rural farmers. They're having their livelihoods crushed. Farmers have spent years, decades even, building their legacy only to have it slip away under the guise of Donald Trump's tariffs. Customers losing hope and choosing to take their own lives. Farmers not being sure if they're going to be able to pass along their farms or not because they're going bankrupt. This type of despair demands our attention. As I mentioned before, the root of all of this suffering is coming from the guy that they all voted for, Donald Trump. His tariffs on steel and parts have made tractors, combines, and repairs far more expensive. Fertilizer prices are also skyrocketing, with some people reporting hundreds of dollars of an increase per ton. This, of course, raises production costs across the entire board. Many farmers were also relying on grants promised by Joe Biden, which Donald Trump took away. They thought they were going to receive this money, and then Donald Trump canceled it. Additionally, soybean farmers are getting crushed right now, with China, their main buyer, dropping U.S. purchases this year to 0. Of course, this was in response to Donald Trump's tariffs, and that's a demand collapse they haven't seen in decades. We're seeing the evidence in front of our eyes every single day. Donald Trump's policies are destroying the United States.
Well, I did it again, damn it. Went down that damn rabbit hole, and it was fun. Because I strolled down this hole of farmers that are mad because they're about to lose their farm. Because their federal grant money hasn't shown up yet. And they don't know what to do. And all of them crying. But damn it, in every freaking video, all of them, and I mean all of them, except for maybe 1 or 2, all of them voted for Trump. So why are you complaining is my question. You voted for this. You asked for this stupidity. You complaining that you about to lose your farm because you voted for a man who told you what he was going to do. But that's your freaking fault. Because you voted for your whiteness instead of voting your heart. Because you didn't want to see that black lady in office. So you voted for that white man. And you knew he was a crook. You knew he was a thief. You knew he was going to do all the dumb shit because you've seen it before. But you mad because you're about to lose your farm. Some of them crying. This land been in my family forever. Yeah, because it was given to you a long, long time ago. And I ain't crying, and I ain't mad. And I don't care. Because that's what you get for voting for your whiteness. You voted for your whiteness instead of voting for the proper person that you knew was good for that job. But you wanted that man in office that bad. You didn't want her in office. You can't say you voted for the lesser of two evils. You voted his color, not his character. And before we get off of this, y'all know what to do. Hit the heart, share the video, do what we do. This TikTok, baby. You knew better, but you didn't. See, this land that y'all got for free, that's been passed down through the generations, that we didn't get our 40 acres in the mule. So why are we gonna be mad because you about to lose yours? This is by design. All of those corporations are buying up farmland across the freaking country. crisis on purpose. But you've yet to realize that. Kamala had you saved. The money was appropriated. It was there. But you had to vote for Trump. You knew what he was. You knew what kind of guy he is. But you voted your color. And you thought you was going to get that privilege. But now you understand. If you ain't worth 7, 8 figures, he don't give a shit about you. Or your cousin, or your sister, your auntie. Nobody. Now you look like me to him. Because you ain't got it like that. So, I'm sorry you're about to lose your land. But I really don't give a damn. Because you knew better. All of it. But you wanted to vote for your privilege and your color instead of who was deserving and who was better. So blame yourself. Blame your neighbor. Blame the people down the street. It ain't out.
So we just got some bad news about America's farmers, and it's going to affect your grocery prices. It's from a newly released survey of over 5,700 farmers conducted by the
Oh, wow. We have some breaking news. It turns out that if you deport all your farm workers, nobody's around to pick your crops.
Trump deported, y'all should be proud. Because Trump just sat on Fox Live and said the quiet part out loud. Trump just said, I kicked all of them out too fast. We thought once we kicked them out, all the people in urban communities, aka black people, was gonna get back in these fields.
I know goddamn well Trump didn't think that we was finna get back in the motherfucking fields. So Trump gonna get his ass on goddamn TV talking about he prematurely deported the illegals that was working in the farms.
In breaking news, Brooke Reynolds, the agricultural secretary, said we have to combat the lack of migrant workers by hiring migrant workers. So after the immense push for deportation raids on construction and farms and whatnot, it's now led to a financial crisis, especially for farmers. And the answer, according to the United States government, is to hire migrant workers.
Now Cheeto Puff is saying that he want to bring the immigrants back to the United States because the inner city people, us, are not getting in the field like he thought that we were going to. Y'all really voted for that big soggy Cheeto Puff to sit up here and play Jeopardy with our lives? He is literally playing Jeopardy with the American lives, and y'all sat there and voted for that.
Donald Trump, not in these exact words, but basically admitted this week that a lot of the things that he's been doing, a lot of the policies, a lot of the executive orders that he's been signing off on was all made with the intention of getting black people back into the field. It was made with the intention of getting black people back into the field. Situation with the deportations, migrant workers, the state of America's agriculture, and he made comments on inner city people not doing farm work. I want you to always remember that when they mention inner city, that means black. In Donald Trump's exact words, people that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They've tried. We've tried. Everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. Naturally. They don't get a bad back because if they get a bad back, they die. He also went on to say that they are very, very, very special people and they cannot be easily replaced.
I kicked all of them out too fast. We thought once we kicked them out, all the people in urban communities, aka black people, was gonna get back in these fields. Trump, what the hell you thought this was? Selma? Hell no, we ain't doing that. Nigga, we'll sell t-shirts on our truck before we do that. I hope that wasn't part of the game plan originally. Trump said, listen, we got to get some of the people that we kicked out of the country back. We got to get them back legally. We'll give them their papers and all. We ain't got no damn farmers. You didn't think about this before you kicked them out? Huh? Listen, the last people who were doing that, their last name was Tubman and shit like that. We ain't into that no more. We got black businesses. We'll figure it out here. Okay, we'll buy a couple stamps. We ain't doing that. Listen, to all the African people, Haitian, Spanish, whoever got kicked out of the country, even people who was doing good in their country in England and British people, listen, he needs y'all back. He ain't think about it. This is your time to get your paperwork together and come back legally so that way nobody can mess with y'all for generations to come, okay? Trump said, listen, I thought about it. I kicked y'all out. But our economy wasn't ready for that. The economy said, "Oh, wait a minute, nigga. Oh, this ain't that type of party." Okay? So now he's working on getting them back. Now, Trump did say some wild stuff about, he asked some farmers what happened if they back break. I'm not even repeating that whole joke because it's kind of crazy. But Trump, I don't think nobody proofread what he got to say. I don't think he read none of this stuff that they tell him to say. I think he just say whatever comes to mind. Listen, Trump said he got to get the illegals back so they can be legal, okay? I'm just here to bring y'all the news. I'm just the messenger.
Donald Trump has backtracked, and he has essentially admitted that we need immigrants here in the United States of America. Okay, so in a press conference, this man says, y'all, racism is so expensive. And this man says, you know, basically that farmers are suffering because they don't have workers, and people in the inner city are not going to take those jobs. And we know how to dissect what he said. Essentially what he's saying is, you know, they marketed their campaign as, oh, we're taking back our jobs, we're taking back our jobs. And they thought the legal people of color were going to go take those jobs. He essentially said the black and brown people in the inner city are not going to take those farm jobs. No. And those undocumented immigrants who are working those jobs, that was their only option to make money in this country. You know, they left, some of them left dangerous countries. They wanted better lives for their children, better education. They just wanted a better life overall. And so they took what they could. And those jobs were modern day slavery, okay? Those people were freaking working 7 days a week, 10-hour days for like $10 an hour in the hot sun, picking fruit. Like, and you thought like, those people aren't doing that because they think that that's a good pay. And you thought, you know, people who are legal citizens were gonna go do that. You could make more money at McDonald's or fast food. I would join the military before I did that, like, to be honest. And what I've peeped about these businesses that used to employ undocumented workers, like farmers, some construction companies, other small businesses, they can't even afford to pay more than what they were paying. Y'all can't even afford to pay really a livable wage, a wage that, you know, somebody who is a citizen would accept for the type of work that you're asking for, but you voted against your own interest. Like, I hope that, you know, all of these undocumented immigrants who are gonna make their way back, I hope they realize you have power. And right now, the power is in your hands. And don't go back for them pennies, okay? You have a lot of leverage right now. You have a lot of leverage right now. And y'all, like I said, being racist is so expensive.
What?
We have some big news right now. The Trump administration is now turning to migrant farm workers to address farm labor shortages, according to the New York Times. No, I'm not making this up. After conducting mass deportation of said migrant farm workers at the beginning of his second term, they're now trying to get that back, essentially. So the Trump administration is now turning to an alternative source, making it cheaper for farmers to hire immigrant farm workers on temporary visas. These changes specifically impact...
We're just absolutely fucked as farmers, guys. Everything is so fucked, and I do not see anybody surviving this farm crisis that we're in. Guys, look, one of the best splorn crops that I have ever raised in my life. And because of the tariffs, China will not fucking buy it. And they are the only country in the world other than... Well, they are the only country in the world that buys splorn. And so now I'm literally just chopping it and blowing it on the fucking ground because it's fucking useless. It's valueless. There's nothing I can fucking do to it. I am going to need government assistance to make it through this fucking crisis until these tariffs end. Look, I've never raised a splorn crop like this, guys. And this is just fucking heartbreaking to me. I don't know how I'm gonna survive. You know, Trump said he fucking loved us farmers, and here I am just blowing my splorn crop all over the ground. Hopefully he works a deal out where Antarctica and Mars will start buying this splorn and save the farmers. I'm sorry, splorn crop.
I think you've heard a whole lot of opinions, especially the farmers, how they are lamenting about everything that is happening with their farmlands. They're losing their livelihood, and they were actually warned about this. Now, I think it's important that let's listen to the Black's viewpoint, and I think we'll talk about it afterwards. Let's get into it.
It's been harder and harder to find those people to work.
Black farmers. Imagine how healthy we would be if we had more black farmers. Or let's pretend we have only black farmers. Right?
Hold on, so let me get this straight. The white farmers in Louisiana
Louisianers, they're mad because people of color won't come work on their farms for $11 an hour in 100 degrees for 10 plus hours a day. Let me run that back. White farmers are mad. The very farmers that voted Republican, okay, they voted for this, are mad that people of color won't come work on their farms for $11 an hour in 100 degree heat for 10 plus hours a day. I'm saying you get what you ask for. Hey, it's FAFO type shit, okay? But hey, don't be fooled. I feel like it's gonna come to a point where they're finna make people get on their farm.
So them farmers really thought we was coming to get in them fields? Is that what I'm reading? Y'all really thought we was coming to get in those fields? It's funny when black people say stuff like over a year ago when we said that Donald Trump specifically saying that immigrants were coming over here to steal black jobs meant that him deporting them was supposed to open the door for us to get back in the fields. Of course, immediately, most people said, y'all are reaching. Now here we are. They're literally on Twitter, all over social media, complaining about the fact.
We must talk about this. We have to talk about the status of the farmers. Yep, the farmers. That overwhelmingly, the white farmers that overwhelmingly voted for Trump. Now, the farmers are asking for welfare from the government because a lot of them are losing their farms because the subsidies that they get from the government, they can't afford the farms without the subsidies in many cases. And they're like, look, we need help. But here's the difference. When the black farmers asked for help, the white farmers filed a lawsuit. They filed a lawsuit against the black farmers for asking for assistance from the federal government. And they weren't able to receive the assistance from the government because of the white farmers filing the lawsuit. Question is, do you think farmers, white farmers, should receive the help, the same help that the black farmers had asked for, and they filed a lawsuit? Should the black farmers do the same thing and file a lawsuit? Get in the comments, let me know.
Bethany Gotts owns Quay's Farm in Mountain Home, but now with fewer workers, a lot of the...
Now, what is sad is that these farmers crying, they voted for the same person who is making out these rules. I don't actually want to call the person. I understand why Trump did what he did. In fact, that was one of his main policies that he ran for, and obviously it made sense to a lot of white Americans, especially the farmers. But look at the output, because you were warned about this. You were actually warned. Now, farmers are not getting workers to come work for them. Guess what? You guys will not have food to eat. And they are actually calling, we want this black farm, we want these black workers come back. What do you think? Do you think the blacks who are actually there will leave whatever they are doing to come get $11 per hour? Of course not. And it got to a point where I think there was a certain period where black farmers were asking for help. They wanted help so that they can actually grow crops, buy crops. And guess what happened? White farmers were like, no, that's discrimination. But they are the same people asking for the same thing. I guess I want to use the word karma. Karma is real. Now, with all that is happening, the question is there any solution? Yes, I understand, and I'm actually an advocate for legal immigration. But to some point, these people that were taken out of the country were the same people contributing to the economy. I'm sure they paid their taxes and they did it well. The issue is that I understand that there were immigrants who came in, committed crimes and all that. But when it comes to agriculture, when it comes to food that feeds the economy, I've never heard, for once, blacks or those from South America commit crimes. I know these guys just come in, they want to find a livelihood, they have families to take care of, so they take this journey, come to America, and they make sure they put their head down, go to these farms, help the Americans make money, the American farmers make money, and in the same process they are also able to take care of their families. But look at what is happening. Farmers are not able to work, and black people, to be honest, are striving. Now everyone is crying, but at the end of the day you have to deal with the consequences, and I hope the same person that caused or made the cause can be able to deal with the consequences and fix this, because without food the nation wouldn't survive, and without food that's an immediate collapse, right? Well, thank you for watching this video. If you love content like this, please do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel, give this video a like, and I will see you in another one.